Fascism in the Church. What is fascism? The definition of fascism is that it is a political ideology run by dictatorship in which individual rights are suppressed by the will of those in power. A historian named Robert Paxton came up with his definition of fascism. Fascism is a form of political behavior marked by obsessive and preoccupation with community decline, humiliation, and victimhood, and by compensatory cults of unity, energy, and purity in which a mass-based party of committed nationalist militants working in uneasy but effective collaboration with traditional elites abandon democratic liberties and pursues with redemption violence and without ethical or legal restraints with the goals of internal cleansing and external expansion. What are fascism's main ideas? Some of the main ideas behind fascism are that it is run by a dictator who has complete control. It promotes nationalism within their region. It tries to unify a region by often having purity against a certain race or culture. They believe democracy would lead to many crises and weaknesses. They believe their governments have no weaknesses. All citizens are expected to agree on everything they agree with. It tries to eliminate pluralism, which is the ability for multiple different parties to compete for a role in government, and they also use violence to achieve political wants and needs. How did fascism rise to power? Fascism rose to power in Europe between 1919 and 1945. It had taken control in many different countries, but it was most known for it in Italy and Germany. Fascism was originally created by the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini. Before he became a dictator of a fascist government, Mussolini supported a socialist government. He was then later kicked out of his own party and from there created a brand new political ideology known as fascism. After Benito Mussolini had officially taken power over Italy by using violent methods, a man named Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini had then, from there, taken over control of Italy by using violent methods. A man named Adolf Hitler had seen what Mussolini had been doing and supported it, and he ended up doing the same thing in Germany. Fascism in Italy. Mussolini originally came up with his ideology of fascism in 1915, and by 1919 he had created a full fascist party. Through numerous acts of violence and propaganda, Mussolini had forced himself into the role of prime minister in Italy and would presume that role for more than 20 years. Italian fascism's main goal was to restore and expand Italian territories and to return Italy back to greatness once again. From the start, the main target was the socialists who had opposed the war. Fascism in Germany. Fascism is most known for its role in Germany. After the German defeat in World War I, Hitler was infuriated with parts of Germany who went against war, and he believed that they were the reason they lost. These groups of people included Jews and the disabled. He believed they were the reason for the German defeat. Hitler modeled himself after Mussolini and used the same violent and propaganda tactics to gain himself full control of Germany. He turned Germany into a full-on fascist territory known as Nazi Germany. Hitler and his fascist party wanted to expand German territory and to remove all the Jews and the disabled. Hitler took his ideology of fascism way too far, and it left a devastating impact. Significance of fascism. Fascism was a brand new form of government created during the 20th century and is widely regarded as the worst one. Fascism led to many deaths and conflicts. The main one being that it led to the Second World War, which would leave a devastating impact. Fascism also led to the Holocaust, which was part of World War II. Fascism as a whole gave certain people the right to think they are above others. The Church's response to Italian fascism. So Pope Pius VI was the Pope at the time when Mussolini took power. In his disguise of communism, the Pope lended Mussolini money to support him in hopes to reconcile the Vatican during reconcile the Vatican to the Italian state. It ended up being a success during the Lateran Treaty of 1929, when the problems were finally settled between the Church and Italy. The Papal States were now returned to the Church, and it was confiscated after it was confiscated by Italy in the 19th century. Mussolini ended up giving the Church lots of money for the Papal States in exchange for the Church surrendering all claims to different parts of land in Italy. Later on, the Church criticized Mussolini for his attempts at disbanding Catholic organizations. The Church issued an anti-fascist encyclical, which pretty much meant that they stated that they don't need the Italian government. But with Mussolini in need of the Church, he backed down. It may not have been their intent, but the Church kind of helped Mussolini remain in power. The Church and German fascism. In 1937, Pope Pius VI had snuck an encyclical into Germany called Mit brennender Sorge. This criticized Hitler for trying to persecute the clergy and dissolve Catholic organizations. It also wrote about how everything Hitler was doing is wrong, and that no race or culture is superior to another. This encyclical infuriated Hitler, and because of it, he decided to suppress to the Catholic Church. Church's view on fascism overall. Overall, the Church disagreed with fascism. They believed it was against God to have certain individuals superior to others. Before Pope Pius VI died, he was preparing a speech that was highly critical of fascism. World War II would end up happening 2 weeks after he died. Fascism today. Fascism today is nothing compared to how it was in the 20th century. While there are still some fascist groups in many different countries, no country today is fully run by a fascist government. And that's my fascist presentation.